Today we are cruising through downtown Chattanooga with the Chattanooga Ducks. We get to see the sights from an authentic World War II amphibious landing craft, and then we splash right into the Tennessee River where the guide shares fun stories and facts about the area. Now on to the video. So I've talked one of our local traveling groups into doing an outing today, and we're going to do the Chattanooga Ducks tour. Hello, 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 world travelers. Are we excited about today? Hey Lynn, this is your first trip with Just Friends, isn't it?
It is.
Where's my mommy?
She's on her way.
Oh. Hi Aunt Regina. All aboard for a 90-minute bus ride. All packed in like sardines. Chattanooga Ducks is located at 151 Riverfront Parkway, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And you check in at the ticket office, which is shared with the Southern Belle Riverboat. Do not try to check in directly at the vehicle itself.
Yay!
Here comes our duck.
Yeah, where's your raincoat?
Right here. Tickets are $35.99 for adults, $25.99 for ages 3 to 12, and $5.99 for ages 2 and under.
Hi. Hi.
Hi Aunt Regina. Hi Miss Linda. And hi Miss Glenda.
Hey.
Hi Donald.
Hello there.
Hi Miss Sandra.
Hey.
Hi Susan. Hello Billy.
Hey, hey! Watch your head. Let's go.
Hello Kathy.
Hello.
Norman, what name are we going with today?
What?
What name are we going with today?
Still George.
I give you a new name every time. Hi Miss Jimmy.
Hey. The knocks on the road help.
Hi Mommy, aka Judy.
Howdy, howdy. Ooh, somebody's gonna get a wet butt.
Hi Lynn. We've almost got a full boat. Okay, everybody on this side of the boat, look this way. Let's go get the other side. Hey guys! Woo! Are we having fun yet?
Yeah.
Those people that didn't come just don't know what they missed.
That's right.
The letter D stands for 1942. That is the first year that GMC started making these for the military. It was in 42. And it's not just for this. Anything that GMC made for the first time in 42 for the military, whatever type of vehicle that is or was, the first letter is always D. That is just a military designation for a year. Okay, so D is 42. Second letter is a description. You might drive an SUV. Same thing. U stands for utility. K and W get a little weird. They both come from the automobile industry. And you six back here, you're very fortunate because you're too young to know what these letters stand for. The only people that remember this are the old farts, and we have a bunch of old farts on the boat. Now, so you three guys, from the early 1970s to the early 1980s, Chrysler was making an ugly, square piece of junk front-wheel drive car. It was called the Reliant.
I don't know.
What?
K car.
The K car. If you remember the K car, raise your hand. Look around. This is the old thing. For whatever reason, in the automobile industry, the letter K means front-wheel drive. W is twin rear-wheel powered axles, 4 powered back tires. At the factory, they would paint on the side of this thing DUKW, and everyone in the military got them. Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard got them. They would paint numbers on the side of it. So, for example, this could be DUKW 16. If you were driving down the road and you saw a sign and it says stop here for DUKW, if that was a word, how would you say it?
Duck. Duck.
With a W. With a W. Duck what? Duck. Unless you're from France, that means je ne sais pas. Duck. You gotta look at duck. Apparently in the Army, there's a silent W. How would you read that? Duck. This truck goes in the water. The name Duck originally was just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with what it does. It's how the guys in the military read what was painted on the side of it, which I find crazy ironic. The name fits exactly what it does. Land and water. Had nothing to do with that. GMC built about 20,000 of these from 1942 to 45. Some of the ducks they built went to Europe. Some of the ducks went to the South Pacific. At the end of the war, did not bring any of them home. They left them where they were. Some ducks were built late in the war, did not go anywhere. We have 7 ducks. We bought this duck in 2008. When it came with some documents and paperwork. We know for a fact when and where this duck was built. June 1945 in Detroit, Michigan. We know that. In World War II, men were overseas fighting. Who stayed home to work in the factories?
Women.
Remember that poster from World War II, the lady in the overalls?
Rosie the Riveter.
What? What was her name?
Rosie the Riveter.
Okay, very good. Rosie the Riveter. The summer of 1945 in Detroit, over 90% of the people on the line building things for GMC were women. We don't know this for sure. I can almost guarantee this duck is built in Detroit by a bunch of women. And in my opinion, that is the only reason it still works. It was built by women. Y'all did a great job. Now, of course, that's why they're high maintenance. But they still work, okay? Now, something's wrong. Boat captains don't hate life jackets. Boat captains hate using life jackets because something's wrong. If you're ever on a boat, you need to put a life jacket on and pray that whatever the problem is doesn't get worse. Because if you don't pray and it gets worse, what might be the next thing the captain has to say?
Abandoned ship.
Abandoned ship. I've been a boat captain for 34 years. Half the time here, half the time in Destin, Florida. I've had to say put life jackets on one time in 34 years and nothing was wrong with the boat. We were in Destin on a sunset dolphin cruise having a good time. Got messed up in a little pop-up thunderstorm. This isn't a pop-up thunderstorm. We got messed up in a pop-up thunderstorm. Anytime you're on a boat and you can, at the corner of your eye, you can see lightning hit the water, and before you can even think of a cuss word, your windows implode, your radio smokes, and from the electricity traveling through the water, you're hanging onto a metal steering wheel, and it burns your hands. That's not fun. That's not what got us. For 3 or 4 minutes of that storm, and the storm maybe lasted 15 minutes, but 3 or 4 minutes of that storm, the wind was blowing over 65 miles an hour. That's dangerous. The captain, I was scared to death. Me and my 2 deckhands and 49 people that looked like you on a 2-hour dock cruise all had life jackets on because of wind, and nothing happened. We got back scared to death, but we got back, no big deal. I have never had to say abandoned ship. I have no idea what might come out of my mouth if that were to happen. I do know that I'll be the first one that knows it's that bad, and every one of you have heard the same rumor all your life. Finish this sentence. Women and... That is such a lie. If you look up and this seat is empty, you're late. No shame, I'll be the first one off the boat swimming away. And I'll look over my shoulder one time and go, get off the boat! If you hear me scream, get off the boat, what should you do? Get off the boat. Do I need to show you where the emergency exits are? I want to make sure that there's 22 of us. Someone say, we're okay, follow me. We'll swim back to the beach, walk down the sidewalk to the southern belt. And I promise if we swim back, every one of you, we're going to get a full refund, okay? I got a first aid kit right up here if you need it. No smoking or vaping on the boat, but if there's a fire, let me know. Any questions? Y'all ready to go?
We're ready.
Okay, we'll roll the ladder up and we'll take off.
Chattanooga and all the touristy stuff, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Ducks. So that one mechanical mind, of course, we have to feel like they got their money's worth. GMC never built a brand new duck. They would take a truck they had already back to a factory, and they would turn that truck into one of these things. The truck they were using was a 6-wheel drive, 2.5-ton cargo truck, and the real name of the truck was a CCKW, one of those 4-letter military acronyms. Does anybody know what a CCKW even is? Nobody ever raises their hand. Before I tell you the nickname of that truck, because every one of you seen him on TV, old John Wayne Army movies. Hey, whoever said that, that was right. So be quiet from now on. So if you've seen an old John Wayne Army movie from World War II to Vietnam, you've seen one, and he was right. That nickname. But before I tell you the nickname of that truck, let's do another military vehicle from World War II. We just got to find one, which is okay. That maroon vehicle right there with the spare. What is it?
Jeep.
The Jeep. Okay. What is the real name of the vehicle you're sitting on right now? What's the real name of this? No, that's the nickname. No, this. This is the DUKW. The real name is, Duck. So the real name is DUKW, and the nickname Duck comes from those letters, DUK. Okay. The word Jeep originally was a nickname because of the letters, just like a duck. So in 1940, there were 2 companies that got the contract to make that vehicle for the Army. Willys and Ford, because they were competitors and the parts had to be interchangeable. Ford would never agree on a name with this little company called Willys. So in 1941, about 22,000 of what we call Jeeps were delivered to the Army with no name, and the Army named it a general purpose vehicle. And the acronym they would paint on the side of a general purpose vehicle was GP. If GP was a word, how would you say it? Jeep. 1946, they start making Jeeps for civilians, and they wanted World War II veterans to buy one. So they kept the nickname these guys were familiar with, Jeep, spelled it the way we spell it. And they came out with a Jeep specifically for civilians. Does anyone remember a Jeep that was called a CJ?
Yeah.
CJ stood for civilian Jeep. The truck they were used to make a duck was a 6-wheel drive, 2.5-ton cargo truck, and the real name of the truck was a CCKW. Can't make a word out of those letters, so the guys in the military used the weight. He weighed 2.5 tons. The nickname was a deuce and a half. That is what we're sitting on, a 2.5-ton loaded truck, nicknamed a deuce and a half. GMC would take this truck back to a factory. They weld 5 tons of metal on the bottom of it to make it stay on top of the water, which doesn't make sense for some people. And they made the front look like a boat, and then they jammed a propeller in the back and play it floated. When we get it up, we change the brakes, the engine, and the transmission to modern things, because when they break down, we can just drive the O'Reillys and buy parts. Stuff down here on the ground, this is all from the 40s. All this stuff's the original. When we get in the river, I'll tell you what all this stuff does. Okay, on the back of the duck, there's a limb that's wet right here, and it just watch your heads and duck, okay? Because I'm going to turn right. We're going to hit this limb. So there's the aquarium right there. It opened up in 1992. Let's see if I can go there. Yeah, well, I might get lucky. Hang on a second. There we go. That wasn't too bad. So the Tennessee Aquarium, it opened up in 92. Changed everything about Chattanooga. Has anybody not been to the Tennessee Aquarium? Anyone not been? So are y'all going while you're here? Are y'all going? Oh, are y'all going while you're here? Okay, good. Why are you not going?
Been there, done that.
You're coming. What else are you doing after this? You got time. Just cry a little bit. No. Who's in charge of this group? Who's the boss?
Right there.
She wants to go so bad. She's about to cry. So, there's a website called TripAdvisor.com. It's a review-based website. Since 1992, tourists have never voted the Tennessee Aquarium outside the top 5 in the nation. 13 times since 1992. It's been voted the #1 aquarium. Last April, USA Today had a top 10 list. The aquarium in Monterey Bay, California was #1. The Ripley's Aquarium in Gatlinburg, Tennessee was #2. That one was #3. It is awesome. When you come to Chattanooga, you've got to squeeze it in. It's a great aquarium. Before the new aquarium opened and brought all this tourism to downtown, Chattanooga was a huge industrial city. There were factories and foundries all around downtown for two big reasons. Right on the Tennessee River, so the water supply was good all the time. But the biggest reason we have so much industry was the railroad. Back in the late 1890s, Chattanooga, Chicago, and New York City were the only 3 places in the nation you could get on a train, travel cross country, and not have to change trains. Because of the railroad, this is the Grand Central Station of the South, and that brought all the industry to Chattanooga. In 1965, from either side of the river, for 5 miles through town, there were almost 100 factories in downtown Chattanooga. Everyone had great jobs. What I normally say is this next statement is going to go over some of your heads because of where you're from or how young you are. Okay, most of both, you lived through this, okay? In the 1960s, in the South, if you're part of a workforce union, you were this close to being a communist. Being in a union a long time ago was frowned upon. Now it's times have changed, okay? It changed quickly. But in the 60s, Chattanooga was the largest union city in the South because of the industry and the railroad. And that just, it speaks volumes of the type of blue-collar people that lived here. City of Chattanooga. Oh, did I tell you how many factories right now? From the river to Lookout Mountain in the 60s were almost 100 factories. Wow. The city sits down in the bottom of a bowl. We are surrounded by mountains, and it does not matter what time of year that you come to Chattanooga. There's always a temperature inversion near the top of the mountain that acts like a lid that traps everything underneath it. It's easier to understand this if you just imagine right now we're inside a snow globe, okay? A giant snow globe. This past December, you could drive 45 minutes any direction from right here, and places had up to 10 inches of snow. Guess how much snow we had? None. If this bottle was downtown, as these storms come through Chattanooga, when they hit the snow globe, they split and go around or go over Chattanooga, loses their power. Nothing ever happens. If we ever get a system that gets inside the snow globe, it does this for a while. We have had the weather the last 3 weeks has been wacky. I mean, it's just, once the system gets in this ball, it's just hard for it to change. If there's something big happens, like maybe a tropical storm in the Gulf, but it rains all the time or it just gets crazy hot. I get frustrated in the summertime when the 6 o'clock news, the weatherman will say, tomorrow's high for July 22nd will be 84 degrees. And you hear everybody in Chattanooga go, oh, that is going to be cold. Then the weatherman's going to say, but the feel like temperature will be 116. It is always so blasted humid in Chattanooga because we're in a sauna. The humidity can't extend the snow globe. Now, inside the snow globe at 100 factories and the air pollution. It was nasty. 1969, CBS National Evening News was doing a story about pollution across the country. Old man on TV with a big bump of gray hair, thick glasses, mustache, smoked every night on TV doing the news. Last thing this guy said before the news went off, he'd take a drag on a cigarette, look at the camera and go, that's the way it was. June 23rd, 1969. Walter
Cronkite.
1969, Walter Cronkite said Chattanooga was the dirtiest city in America. That got somebody's attention. 1970, the federal government created the Environmental Protection Agency. First regulation the EPA got through Congress was the Clean Air Act. It goes into effect in 72. Factories around the nation had to start lowering air pollution to a federal standard. Here in Chattanooga, these factories did all they could to lower the pollution. The big thing is they just made less stuff. And a lot of these local factories would go from 3 shifts of work to 2 shifts of work. Lower production, lower pollution, and he lost his 3rd shift job. Couldn't find work and moved away and met her. And this is the first time he's been back to visit his family. And they lowered pollution this much. They would keep lowering production. By 1970, these factories had cut production. Or by 1978, these factories had cut production so much that they started losing money. And when a business continuously loses money, what happens to it?
Bankrupt.
Imagine this happening where you live. In 1965, in downtown, there were almost 100 factories. 1978, there were 7 left. In those few years, all those factories left, took all those jobs. Small businesses started closing. This turned into a ghost town. 1992, they opened up the aquarium. It was a magnet that brought you and everybody else back downtown. The biggest change in downtown because of the aquarium. Every building you can see through here. The first floor is businesses, and above that they converted these old banks and offices into luxury apartments. People want to live in downtown, they don't have to. I'm 60. It's not my generation that live in downtown. It's that generation of men with the man buns. They wear skinny jeans, and there's Angry Orchard and White Claw, ride skateboards over it. See these young folks that want to live in downtown Chattanooga. Like right there. See, he lives downtown. All these young folks that work out on it. This is the Reed House. This is the oldest hotel in Chattanooga. Opened its doors in 1872. Beautiful old building. You can go in for free anytime you want to, which I do recommend. You can look in the windows and recognize some famous names. But the reason it's so famous is that poster right there. Haunted Room 311. The Reed House is haunted. The ghost story of the Reed House has been on national TV shows. Celebrities, when they come through town, they want to try to spend the night in room 311. The Reed House has free ghost tours. There's not a schedule, you just show up. I am not going to steal the tour guide's thunder because they work for tips. But the gist of the ghost story, back in the 1880s, a local husband found his wife in room 311 and somebody else gets mad, chopping her head off. The ghost of the Reed House is the headless woman. On the ghost story, they go in much more detail. Hey, the backstory that other man was before to know. You can never cut the person's head off, but it's kind of the romantic story in a wicked sense. If you don't believe in ghosts, it's a free tour of the beautiful hotel. Tour guides are awesome. We can be in it takes like 35 minutes. Food comes up. Really good tour. You can't see it. Hey, look out, mountain is right there. I promise you, it's right there. You can't see it. When we get in the river, we'll talk more about Lookout Mountain. River is directly in front of us. Can't see it yet, but it's right there. We're going to turn to the right through the rope ramp, about 60 seconds. On either side of the river, and as far right and left as you can see, there used to be factories. Almost all of the factory sites to the right have been redeveloped into residential for businesses. There's still some factory sites on our left, on the waterfront, that's been for sale for over 50 years when the factory went out of business. And what I'm about to explain to you is going on right now across the street over there, that factory site. If you want to buy a factory site downtown and build a hotel on it, before you get building permits, you're required to inform the EPA. They will come to Chattanooga, dig a hole in your dirt, and they will find pollution. You are now responsible to remove 100% of that pollution out of the dirt down to a certain depth. Cost a fortune, cost a lot of time. When they were building the aquarium, they had to do the same thing there. 1995, a Canadian developer bought 3 factory sites. They spent a lot of money cleaning the pollution, and then they sell the land to different developers to do all this. The apartment's on the right, 12 years old. Biggest apartment in this complex is 900 square feet. Back in March in this building, there was first floor unit on the market for $400,000 for 900 square feet. Townhomes on the left are about 22 years old, 2 floors, garage in the back. I forgot the square footage. Back in 2004, when they ran new, they started at $199, which that's doable. As they built down the hill to the water, they got bigger and more expensive. The ones on the waterfront, the combination of single-family homes, townhouses, there's some Airbnbs down there you can rent. Back in 2020, when it seemed like everybody from California was moving here, one of those waterfront homes sold for about $1.5 million. I am from Chattanooga. I love living here. There's no way in the world I would spend that much money and live in downtown Chattanooga. I'm too old. I don't fit in. I don't look good in skinny jeans. I don't like Angry Orchard. I can't skateboard. I don't understand ice hockey. I'm too old. Big bump. Here's the boat ramp. We're going to get on the ramp. I'm going to stop for a second, let you stare where we're going, let your anxiety go up a little bit. Okay, here's the water. I've worked here 22 years, and at this point, there is nothing you can say that I have not done, either on purpose or on accident. I'm going to give you 2 choices how we do this. Fast or slow. But don't sink yet. And it doesn't matter what you say, I've done it. I get trouble when it's whatever the majority wants to do, that's what we'll do. I don't care if it's fast or slow. I get trouble when it's unanimous. And when everybody wants to go fast, that's when I get trouble. In 22 years, I've been down this ramp, 10, 15 times where I thought it was dangerous. Where I went too fast, like halfway down, I realized I didn't have enough brakes, and we're going to hit the water so hard that I'm going to break either the duck or someone's going to get hurt. I have broken ducks. I've not hurt anybody yet. There's always the first, but I haven't broken anybody yet. So I've been down this ramp what I consider way too fast. I've been down the ramp boringly slow, and if that's what you want to do, I don't care. I went down so slow a few years ago, like 6-7 years ago, just like this. Had a couple just like this. It was the husband and the wife, and I don't know how old you all are, but this couple was like 79, 80, 81 years old. How old are y'all? How old are y'all? 85. Hey, okay. It was them, okay? So he had his arm around her. He put his arm around her. Okay. And they were sitting like that. And she starts whispering to him. She whispers to him. And he goes, shh, shh, shh. And she keeps whispering. And they start fighting. And I go, guys, are y'all okay? And the wife looks at me. This lady goes, tell my husband that we're waiting for the boat. And I said, of course we are. And I expect to see a boat go by, and I said, of course we are. What boat? And she says, the one we're getting on. And that is exactly what happened. Some of you laughed, and I went, ma'am, this is the boat. We're on the boat. And when it clicked with her, this was the boat. She started crying. She was deathly afraid. She did not want to go. And I said, ma'am, we'll go really slow. If you want to go ahead and put a life jacket on, you can. And we'll stay like 10, 15 feet from the shore. It's never going to get more than 8 feet deep. If we sink, you can just stand up. And she just wanted off. And I said, okay, I'll drop the stairs. You can wait for us right there. And she was not with a big group. She was with the family, though. And I said, if you want to sit right there, when we come back, I'll pick you up and I'll get your money back for you. And the husband looked at me and goes, she's fine, just go. And I was like, it took 4 days to get down there. I went so slow. I've been backwards 3 times. I've done it. I don't care. Do y'all want to go fast or slow?
Fast.
Medium.
In between. in between. Okay, so we'll go in between. When we hit the river, it's going to splash, okay? And there's going to be water through the windshield on both sides. You're probably more wet now from the spit and the rain than you're going to get from the splash. But you don't have the seatbelt on. No matter how slow we go, when we hit, you're going to lean forward. You're not going to hit your head on the seat in front of you. But if you have something loose in your seat, like a purse or a camera, hang on to the loose things, it'll just fall into the floor. You three in the back. It does not matter how slow we go when we hit. The back of the duck's going to bounce. And normally it throws one or two people out of the boat. We'll pick you up, okay? But if you can reach the floor, put both feet flat on the ground, and with your legs, press your back against the seat, and just hang on to the side of the duck with the ladder. And what you're going to feel is like you're getting thrown forward. So just hang on. And I know the floor's slippery. Matter of fact, ma'am, if your legs are long enough, you can put them on top of that seat in front of you. And you can brace yourself with your feet. Okay, hang on. And I'm trying to scare him to death because that happens. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Oh, there was it go. That was medium. So okay, let me turn the stuff off.
Let's go back
Turn
to
the
it fast.
stuff on. I'm not a school bus driver, even around a boat captain. Now, boat captains are famous for two things. If you know any boat captains, you know this is true. Boat captains are either drunk or just don't pay attention. And as far as you know, I don't pay attention. Very rarely do I ever look that way. If I'm about to hit something, y'all let me know, okay? Everybody still hear me okay? Welcome to the Tennessee River. Tennessee River is a very historic river. It's a long river. It starts about 100 miles in front of us, just above Knoxville, Tennessee. And really, the river is nothing except a big dip with the Smoky Mountains. As the river makes its way from Knoxville to Chattanooga, it does the same thing that any river does. It twists and curves, passes Chattanooga. About 65 miles behind us, the river gets off to the southwest, goes out into Alabama, gets almost to Huntsville, Alabama, and does a U-turn, goes to a little bit of northeast Mississippi, back into Tennessee on the western side of the state, and then in Kentucky. Has anyone ever heard of a little town called Paducah? Oh, yeah. Okay, so right around Paducah, Kentucky, I'll take your geography from high school. Right around Paducah, Kentucky, the Tennessee River joins what river? The Ohio River. Ohio River runs west through Kentucky to Cairo, Illinois. And Mississippi River, that goes south to the Gulf of Mexico. If we were up in outer space looking down at the Tennessee River, it looks like a 650-mile horseshoe, a big horseshoe. But if we zoom in on a map, really close to the river, the whole thing does this. It's a very crooked river. The Tennessee is the only river in the northern hemisphere that naturally flows north, east, south, and west. It is a very crooked river. That is one of the biggest reasons why the river could flood so quickly, and there's places along the river like Chattanooga that the flood could be so bad. If we had a giant funnel and had a garden hose, and we were filling water in the funnel up too fast, what's going to happen? It's going to overflow the funnel. So now let's lay this giant funnel down right here, and the spout of the funnel is 15 miles behind us. You can't, there's mountains all around us right here. You can't see them, I'm sorry. There's mountains on the Tennessee River, about 15 miles behind us, goes through what we call the Tennessee River Gorge. The river gets half as wide as this. And for 40 miles, the river snakes its way around through the Tennessee River Gorge. That's the spout of the funnel. It might not rain in Chattanooga. It could rain in Knoxville. And when all that flood water in Knoxville gets to Chattanooga, it's too much water to fit through the spout, and it overflows the mouth of the funnel. Historically, Chattanooga was one of that and Muscle Shoals, Alabama, was one of the worst places along the river for flooding. Okay, now everybody flooded. Chattanooga and Muscle Shoals were terrible floods. The worst flood in Chattanooga memory, 1868. And there's still small buildings you can go in and walk around. There's paintings or photographs of what that location looked like in 1868 during the flood. The easiest place for y'all to go is the Reed House. Remember the haunted hotel? It's 9 blocks away from the water. The Reed House opened its doors in 1872. The building that was on that corner in the flood of 1868 was a 5-story hotel called the Crutchfield House. If you go to the Reed House today and just ask one of the employees where the picture of the flood is, okay, we call where to go look. There's a photograph of the Crutchfield House where there was a boat tied up at the 3rd floor rescuing people. 9 blocks away, downtown was under 20 to 30 feet of water. 1868. First flood that I have ever seen in Chattanooga. End of May, 1st of June, 2011. Big flood. The Ducks, we were closed for walked off behind us at the bottom of the hill to Red Rock where we were trying to come this way. Came down the hill, we stopped at the barricade. I tell my wife what I was about to do, get her mad. I get out of my Jeep and I move a barricade out of the way. Now, stop. She's already mad at me. Where the barricades were, you could not see water anywhere. The apartments down here, they hadn't evacuated those apartments. I just wanted to drive as close as we could get. So we didn't have to walk as far. I did it for you. I moved the barricade. I moved the barricade and turned to walk back to my Jeep. And I hear, whoop, whoop. Young man, come over here, please. I did not see the police car sitting in the parking lot of the whiskey distillery. And he's checking addresses, making sure the only people that came through lived in these apartments. We have Chattanooga City Police and Hamilton County Sheriff. This is almost word for word. Young man, where do you live? Middle Valley. Middle Valley is 30 minutes away in the county. And he went, Middle Valley? Yes, sir. Young man, in Middle Valley, what does it mean when there's a barricade across the street? It means the road is closed, sir. Son, it means the same thing as the city limits. And I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Yes, sir. First, I want you to go back to that sidewalk where you moved that barricade and put it back where you found it. Yes, sir. And then I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to watch you sit down in your Jeep and apologize to your wife for bringing her down here in a flood trying to drive through a road that's closed. Yes, sir. Now I'm really in trouble. And then, I'm going to use different language, you're going to turn around and not drown and go back home to the Middle Valley where you can watch the news about the floods in downtown. And I was swinging it because I just kind of swung it like a pomegranate and just swung it over. So I was swinging the barricade back around. And I lied to him. I say, sir, I'm sorry. My name is Captain Berry, and I work at the Chattanooga Ducks. My boss asked me to come down here and check on the boat ramp. And he went, you work at the Ducks? I said, yes, sir. Do you drive the Ducks? I said, yes, sir, I do. And he apologized. I am sorry for not recognizing you without your duck. Just be careful. And I went, thank you. Now, on my wife's side was me and the police officer, okay? When I get back in my Jeep, she is cracking up. But as we drive by the police officer, I go, thank you, sir. Now she's mad at me and him. Where the barricades were, you could not see water. We had to start underneath the bridge. We walked down the street, and we stood on this pier right here and took pictures and selfies and stuff for the flood. We were standing in the river. The water was about an inch or so deep on top of that pier. Now, this is an optical illusion. Up there by the ferry, you see that little brick booth where that box truck is? That brick booth is actually lower than the pier, okay? Where that pier and that box truck used to fight. That intersection, that is the lowest part of the road in downtown Chattanooga. The reason the road was closed, the Tennessee River was 6 or 7 inches deep in the street. Where that tanker truck is, it was 6 inches deep, the river. That was the worst flood I've seen. And that flood, that was with flood control. In the 1930s, President Franklin Roosevelt needed to create jobs here in the South. He did that by creating the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA. First big job that TVA had was to control the floods, and they built 9 dams. The 2 nearest to us, 8 miles in front of us, still in Chattanooga, Chickamauga Dam, 45 miles behind us down there, Nickajack, Tennessee, Nickajack Dam. And whenever you go to a dam on a river, it blocks the flow, forms a lake. We're in the Tennessee River. We're also in Nickajack Lake. Besides the river and the lake, we're in federal waters. This is part of the intercoastal waterway, which means on this boat right now, we can keep going and I can take you to Boston, Massachusetts. I don't want to do that. What I'd rather do is we'll take a boat. Wait, no, not yet. We'll go to Walmart, get some peanut butter, a bag of ice, and some beer, get back in the water, and go that way, and I will take you to New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'll do that in a heartbeat. I love New Orleans. Has anyone ever been in New Orleans? Bunch of us. Has anyone ever been to Mardi Gras? Who's been to Mardi Gras?
Don't want to go neither.
I thought I recognized you. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on.
Uh-oh, here comes the beads.
Hey, lady! If you want to go to Mardi Gras, I got beads. We'll go now. I looked it up. Mardi Gras is in February. This is as fast as a duck can go. If you want to go meet her on this Mardi Gras, make up your mind. We got to leave now. Who wants to go to Mardi Gras? Me and 3 women and 2 guys? Get off. Oh, look at all. Okay, in a minute. Not yet. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how old you are. If you want to sit right here in the front seat and drive the boat, we'll take turns. I'll let everyone that wants to drive in a few minutes. Before I let you drive, I need to teach you some boat stuff. Any boat in the world, big boat, little boat, doesn't matter where you are, you never turn a boat to the left. Never. turn a boat to the right. On a boat, there's no such thing as a right and left. Does anybody know what this side of the boat's called?
Starboard.
I heard 3 of the 4 answers. Okay, let's do it this way. Left. L-E-F-T.
Port.
Port. P-O-R-T. 4 letters. Ends in T. Port. When you meet somebody, hello, nice meeting you today, and you bow to someone, you bend forward when you bow. Guess what the front part of the boat's called?
Forward.
The bow. Young man, Alabama. What's your name? Levi. What does a pirate say, Levi? R. Say it like a pirate. R. There you go. Now, Levi, say the word starboard like a pirate would say it. Starboard. Say starboard like a pirate.
Starboard.
Darg, you sturdy dog. It's the starboard side with an R. An R for right. Starboard, port, bow. You ready? You've said it. You said it 3 times. What's the back called? The aft. Or the stern. The aft or the stern. Okay. All this land on the starboard side. Oh, I got to put it in gear. All this land on the starboard side. All of this is called Ross's Landing. We're going to go back to the early 1800s. This was not a city. This is a little village on the banks of the river. So they became a supply point for boats. If we were on a boat and we were going to Knoxville, about 100 miles away, back then that would typically take a boat 2 or 3 days. I am not saying that between here and Knoxville back in 1800 that we're not going to pass any 7-Elevens. But the next time we can stop at a Costco, there's 3 days away in Knoxville. Going that way. Next time we can stop at a Costco was Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which sometimes would take about 2 weeks. There was a Cherokee Indian chief that had a trading post up here. His name was Chief John Ross. Chief John Ross made a lot of money selling stuff to boats. And I know the name John Ross doesn't sound a bit like the name of a Native American. John Ross was one named Cherokee, everything else about him was Scottish, and the name of his trading post up here, Ross's Landing. And on the old maps, this whole area was labeled Ross's Landing, Tennessee because it's historic. In 1837, the state made this a city, and they let the locals pick the name, and for whatever reason, they did not pick the name written down on the maps already. You had to get creative. They picked the Creek Indian word, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga. When you translate the word Chattanooga from Creek into English, it means rock rising to a point, and most people believe they were talking about Lookout Mountain, and they named it Chattanooga. I think it is so easy to see what more than likely happened. You were the one in charge of filling out the paperwork for the city to send to the state capitol. And you get to that last question on the application. What's the name of your new city? And you went, oh, that's easy. We voted for that last night. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga. Oh, God. How would you spell Chattanooga? We did the best we could. Mailed the letter to the Capitol, and guess how they read what we wrote down? Chattanooga. If it wasn't for the bad Tennessee public education system, we'd never have Chattanooga. That is just a misspelled word. That is all it ever has been, is a mispronounced, misspelled word, but that's how we end up with the word Chattanooga. In front of us, off the bow, this is called the Passage. The Passage is a memorial to the Cherokees and the Chattanooga. The Cherokee lived all across the southeastern United States. Generally speaking, the Cherokee were peaceful, happy, very spiritual, civilized people. If you count things at the Passage, there's 7. There's 7 lights on the bridge you come on at sunset, 7 pipes in the water that used to be a really cool water fountain because the pumps got clogged up, sitting there and fixed it yet. 7 Cherokees on the wall playing a game. 7 stars on the wall symbolizing the constellation 7 Sisters, which is very important to Cherokee mythology. If you come down here on your own and walk around and read the plaques, many of the plaques point to other things of 7 that we just can't see from right here. The Cherokee were the first Native Americans with a written language, and on the wall, right there, those big weird letters on top. In Cherokee, that spells Ross's Landing. That middle line, and there's 3 lines of letters, and the middle line's hard to see when they're wet, but that middle line starts with a G. If you read that phonetically the way it looks, that's how you say Ross's Landing. This is the best I've got, not that shit stuff. Guri Segui Gado Gola. Something like that. Guri Segui Gado Gola. To me, that sounds like gibberish. Every single one of you say Native American words all the time. Can anyone think of any Native American words that you say? None of you? Hal, that's Hollywood. That's Hal's mother. Okay, no one really can think of a Native American word? Really? Okay, so we'll do some easy ones first. These are all Native American words in almost exactly how you say them in whatever language it might be. Canoe, hammock, kayak, raccoon, possum, chipmunk, Tanasi, the word T-A-N-A-S-I, Tanasi is a Cherokee word that means curvy water. That's where we get the word Tennessee from. The word Alabama is a Creek word pronounced Alabama, meaning warrior. Mississippi, singing water. Now I'm going to go fast. All of these are Native American root words. Kentucky, Commander tomorrow. Indiana, land of Indians. Illinois, fighter. Iowa, friendly. Missouri, river people. Ohio is water. Michigan, great water. Wisconsin, grassy land. Connecticut, winding water. Massachusetts, crystal water. Oklahoma, almond, red man. Utah, mountain people. Oregon, land where water touches sky. My favorite Native American place is Chicago. The word Chicago is a Illini Indian. Translated, it means land of smelly weed. Okay, who else has to drive the boat? Come on, man. Come on, Levi. Okay, Levi, and then you can drive after Levi, okay?
Is that Mama?
What? Okay, I was about to say, what's your name, Levi? You're Levi. How old are you, Levi? 10. Okay, I'll do the gas. You steer. See the trees? That's where we're going. You got it? Okay. Okay. Bridge in front of us. This is the walk through the trees, Levi. Through the trees, Levi. Levi. The stuff that looks like broccoli. That way, Levi. Levi. He's a big one. I don't know. Have you ever driven a lawnmower? Same thing, okay? If you want the lawnmower to go this way, what do you do? If you want the lawnmower to go that way, what do you do? Okay, what if you want the lawnmower to go straight? What do you do? Just go straight. Okay, so let's get it straight. Okay, now, through the trees. This bridge, this is the Walnut Street Bridge. It was built from 1881 to 1887, used as the roadway from 1976. To tell you the story about, good job, y'all. To tell you the story about this bridge, I'm going to repeat a story we talked about already when we were driving through town. There used to be a lot of factories everywhere. You had a great job. Factory made some pollution. Walter Cronkite said something on the news, the government got involved, factory shut down, you lost your job, moved. All through the 70s.
Truck driver.
That's okay, that's okay. I looked down and Levi was looking straight down going. Oh, in the 70s when the factories were leaving and you lost your job and you moved away, the tax revenue of the city grew smaller every year. So the city had to adjust as people and businesses left. If you own a business, what is your largest expense? No, not taxes.
Labor.
Yes, salaries, payroll, city budget. This is how the city made budget. Levi's family moved, took the kids out of school, which means now here in town we need less school teachers. Smaller population, we didn't need as many police officers, firemen. City employees start getting laid off. They leave. Made things worse. By 1976, I guess, there really wasn't anyone else the city could afford to lay off. And the politicians are talking about the budget. Somebody said, hey, I got an idea. What about those 4 bridges downtown? What? 3 of the bridges. The state or the federal government paid for the maintenance. What about the city bridge? You know, the one we have to pay for? With everybody leaving, we really don't need all of these bridges anymore. If we close the city bridge, that is one less thing we got to spend money on. You know, that's not a bad idea. So in 1978, Chattanooga closes the Walnut Street Bridge. They put concrete barricades on either side, no trespassing signs, and they just stopped taking care of it. In 1984, a tugboat was going up and down the river, and the crew of the tugboat, they see a piece of the bridge break off, splash in the water, and they notified the Coast Guard of what they saw. The Coast Guard out of Nashville come to Chattanooga to inspect what happened, or investigate. When the Coast Guard learned that Chattanooga had not done any maintenance on city property that crosses federal waters, that made the Coast Guard mad, and they told the city, your bridge has become a navigational hazard for commercial boat traffic. Spend the money and take care of your bridge, or get it out of the water. 1985, the politicians voted they could save more money in the long run if they get rid of it, and they announced they were going to blow it up, and that made a lot of people mad. Lookout Mountain is 83 miles long. Most of Lookout Mountain is in Alabama. About 30 miles is in Georgia. There's only 2 miles of Lookout Mountain that's in Tennessee. Has anyone ever been up on Lookout Mountain?
Yes.
Did you see the big houses? Did you get lost? Okay. If you have not gotten lost on Lookout Mountain, you saw some really nice houses, but not the big ones unless you've gotten lost. For over 100 years, that 2-mile city of Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, has been the wealthiest municipality in the state of Tennessee. It started out with old railroad and factory money, but quickly changed into junk food. In 1916, behind us, on the other side of the river, the Campbell family invented the moon pie. They are multi-millionaires from moon pies. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack cake?
Zebra cake.
Zebra cake. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack cake?
Swiss cake rolls.
Swiss cake rolls. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack cake, Levi? Oatmeal cream pies. That's old time. Okay. Let's pretend we're holding a box of our favorite Little Debbie's in our hand. What's the picture we see on the corner? Wendy? Who said Wendy? Where's the beef? No, it's a different redheaded girl. No one has ever said Wendy from the hamburger joint. No. You need to hang out with
thought
Wendy.
about it, but she doesn't look like her.
We see a little redheaded girl, right? Not Wendy. That's Debbie. She's still alive. She might be a little younger than some of you. Her grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. O.D. McKee, invented the oatmeal cream pie in 1957 in Chattanooga. They are multi-billionaires from snack cakes, from junk food. Coca-Cola, not the drink. In 1898, there were 7 families on Lookout Mountain that had money already from different things, and they built a factory in downtown. It became the first place in the world, 1898, that put Coca-Cola in a bottle. From 1898 to 2004, anywhere in the world you went and you bought a bottle of Coca-Cola, some money came back to Chattanooga. In 2004, these 7 families had sold 100% of the stock of the Coca-Cola bottling company to the drink company Coca-Cola in Atlanta. There's not enough words to tell you how rich those 7 families are. In 1985, 3 women from Lookout Mountain called a politician, and they said, don't blow that bridge up. We'll fix it. 3 women fixed the bridge. It reopened up to the public in 92 as a sidewalk. If you've heard anyone talk about the walking bridge or the pedestrian bridge, that's it. I'm sorry, it's closed. Last year they closed it for 18 months for major renovations. They're way ahead of schedule, but it's not been open this weekend. Now, when the state, we're going back to the late 80s, when the state learned that it was private money being used to fix the bridge, the state, my words, threatened the lawyers of these women. That's my words. Probably wasn't a threat. They just informed the lawyers, if it's private money that's being used to fix that bridge, the state will inspect it every day if we have to. And those 3 women took that as a threat, and they formed a non-profit organization called Friends of the Bridge, and only using donations and fundraisers, they raise the money every year for the maintenance. Since it's reopened in 92, it's never failed an inspection. They had finally they had a big capital campaign for renovations. They got that last year. That's why it's closed. Doing some major work on it. Good job, Captain Levi. Hop on down. Awesome job, dude. Awesome job. What's this? You ready? Come on, man.
Show them how it's done.
What's your name? Lachlan. How old are you, Lachlan? 6. Can you see okay where you're going? If you want to sit on your knees and get taller, you can get on your knees if you like to. You good? Okay, straight ahead, Lachlan. Look at Dad and smile. Look at Dad and smile. Let's take a picture of you. Look at Dad and smile. Okay, this island, since 1956, has been called McClellan Island. It does not matter where you're from. Tennessee, California, anywhere in between. Every one of y'all had a place like this when you were younger. Let's pretend we are 17 years old. Okay, 17. We're in high school. It's Friday night, high school football. And after the ball game, every one of us had that place that we would go hang out with their friends, or their dates, where we did things. Party Island. Really me and her. Lachlan and Levi, they'd be running up down the woods, splashing water, catching frogs. Me and you were barbecuing. That guy back there, he brought a guitar. He brought the jug of moonshine he stuck out at his pal Paul's house. We had a big time party until the late 1890s. In 1891, Robert and Claire McClellan had immigrated from Edinburgh, Scotland to Chattanooga. And they start building that yellow house right there with that one chimney, that one cream-colored house. Now today, that big house right there is a bed and breakfast. It's called the Bluff View Inn. Me and my wife's opinion, that is the most romantic place to spend the weekend in Chattanooga. There's only 6 bedrooms. They treat you like royalty. It's expensive, but it's a great bed and breakfast. The day the McClellans moved into that house in 1892, they loved the house. They hated living there for one reason.
The partying.
All the parties. They couldn't get to sleep at night because of all the parties and the racket going on. During the Civil War, the Army of Wisconsin built the first bridge across the river downtown. They built it in 1863. There was a wooden bridge right here that got washed away in the flood of 1868. The Army out of Wisconsin had a cannon battery right there on that hill, on this bluff, okay? I don't know how true this is anywhere else, but in Chattanooga, if you bought a piece of property that has an authentic Civil War cannon on it, your property value is just sky high, okay? Now, again, I'm sure that's everywhere else where there was a Civil War battle, but if there was a cannon in your yard, your house is worth a lot more. In 1864, the Union left Chattanooga, burned their way to Atlanta, and the Army out of Wisconsin left some cannons right there. When people moved back home to Chattanooga to rebuild, that became the first wealthy neighborhood in Chattanooga. Bankers and doctors, they wanted to buy something on the water they could keep the road, and they had a cannon in the backyard. The name of that neighborhood today is called Battery Place. That's where a cannon battery was. By the 1890s, all the coal soot that was in the air, those rich folks could barely breathe, and they decided to move above the pollution, Lookout Mountain. And the only time the McClellans would see their rich friends from Lookout Mountain was at church. And after church, they'd invite some friends over for lunch, and up down the back porch, these rich women that wear the big floppy hats all the time and high heels. They got chihuahuas in the purse, and all of us over here minding our own business, hooting and hollering, drinking moonshine, skinny dipping in broad daylight, embarrassed her in front of her church friends. You want to see what's wrong with this country? Lachlan, how old did you say you were? 6.5. When's your birthday? What month is your birthday, do you know? Okay. Lachlan, have you ever been skinny dipping? No, that's fine, that's fine. Do you know what skinny dipping is? Levi, do you know what skinny dipping is? See, that is what's wrong with this country. 2 boys in their skinny dipping prime have no clue. Don't laugh, it's your fault.
He's lying.
Skinny dipping is when you with your dad and you jump like in a creek or a swimming pool with no bathing suit on, just naked. Look behind you, Lachlan. Pay attention. If you have never been skinny dipping before, raise your hand. Is that your parents back there? They have both been swimming naked. Levi, your grandmother's been swimming naked somewhere. It embarrassed her in front of her church friends, and she nagged her husband, can you please do something about these rednecks in the backyard? And he did what rich people do. He bought a 24-acre island and had it from the Chattanooga Coal and Iron Company and had almost every tree cut down. 24 acres of dirt, and they tried to farm it. It worked. The flood of 1899 was at least over the island some, and it messed up the garden. It washed some sheep off. He gets mad, gives up. They let the trees grow back on it. 1956, the McClellan family gave the island to the Chattanooga Audubon Society. It's a park. You can go anytime you want to. Trails, picnic tables. You got to have your own way to get to it. Canoe, kayak, boat. There's not a soul out there right now. It's kind of a nasty day. If you want to go while you're here, across the river, see that guy in a white t-shirt? Right there's a business that rents kayaks and paddle boards. Last time I checked, it was $35 for an hour. It includes everything you might need. Coming out here on a Saturday, and at this point, there might be 300 people over there all hanging out. Yes, ma'am?
If you have your own kayaks and paddle boards, where do you go to get in?
Anywhere. The easiest place downtown is, well, you can't see it because of the bridge. There's a floating boat dock right there. That's pretty easy. And then behind this bridge, one of these. Oh, there it is. Okay, behind. Well, hang on, I'll show you. Do you see that stairway right there?
Yes.
See that middle thing the thing in the middle?
Yeah.
That's a kayak ramp or a canoe. You can just put your kayak on that in the middle of the stairs, and it's like a bowling alley gutter. You can just kind of drag your kayak or canoe down that thing in the middle of those stairs to the water. And that's easy. And then this floating dock.
Where do you park to get to those?
There's a gigantic parking lot right here that we can't see. So, okay, this park on the starboard side, this is called Coolidge Park. It's named in honor of Sergeant Charles Coolidge, one of two of Chattanooga's Medal of Honor recipients, World War II. If this is the last thing you planned on doing before you got back in your bus or car to go back home, take 5 minutes, drive across river to Coolidge Park, okay? Around the outside of the park, there's some really cool little restaurants, some really neat family-friendly dive bars, which is kind of a weird way to say it. Gift shops, boutiques, ice cream parlors. The region, and inside the park, there's some picnic tables, barbecue grills. There's a big water fountain that you can play in that's maybe turned off right now, I don't see it. And then behind the trees, the reason you go to Coolidge Park is the carousel. The carousel at Coolidge Park was built in 1898 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, bounced around the country. Been in Chattanooga since 1995. Every animal on the carousel has been hand-carved and painted in Chattanooga by amateurs. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. If you're spending the night, go around sunset when they turn the lights on inside the carousel. It's beautiful. It's still open. It's free to ride. You don't have to ride it. Just go inside the carousel and look at it. It is gorgeous. So that's where you can park. Now you got to pay to park, but you can drop your boat in for free. If you don't mind the boat ramp, when we get back to the boat ramp, the parking lot right across the street from the boat ramp is always free. And then you can drag your kayak down the grass to the... Selfishly, we would prefer you not to drive your boat down the boat ramp to unload your canoe or kayaks, because half the time it's when we're either trying to get in the water or trying to get out of the water, and you're sitting there like, so selfishly I say that. So you can just park in the parking lot for free and drag your kayak down the ramp, down the grass right there to the water.
Thank you.
Good job, Dan Lachlan. Awesome job, dude. Awesome job. Watch your step right there. Who else wants to drive? Levi, want to drive again? Sure. Well, Lachlan, do you want to drive more? You want to drive more? Well, come on. And now, if you want to drive, just because Lachlan's up here, you just say, "Can I drive now?" And then I'll throw Lachlan off and he can drive. Okay. Don't hit anything. Bridge right behind us. Let's go this way, Lachlan. This bridge right here was built from 1921 to 1925. The real name of this bridge is the John Ross Memorial Bridge. Nobody says that, okay? Most people in Chattanooga don't even have a clue what the real name of the bridge is. Chief John Ross Memorial Bridge. The street that goes across this bridge is Market Street. Guess what we call it?
Market Street
Bridge. It opens up right there, and when it opens, it looks like a drawbridge. It's not. A drawbridge uses engines, gears, and cables to open. This is a vascular bridge. It uses engines, gears, and counterweights. Those chunks of concrete on either side are so balanced that the original engines they used over back in the 1930s were 3 horsepower engines. I am 60 years old. I'm from Chattanooga. I've done this for 22 years. I've seen that bridge open 8, maybe 9 times. I have never seen it open for a boat. It opens every 3 months to make sure it works. 4 times a year. It's always early on a Sunday morning before anyone gets out of bed to go to church. But 4 times a year just to make sure. Okay, we want to go that way. To the boat ramp now. River. Now, in the 80s, and I've had people from Chattanooga, I'm from here, I've had people your age from Chattanooga, and I've always said, in the 80s, name the restaurants in downtown. And the most we can ever come up with is 7. And of those 7 restaurants, 3 of those restaurants, one was the diner at Woolworth's. Loveman's department store had a cafeteria. And then there was Miller Brothers had a hot dog stand. And you get hot dogs, popcorn, okay? And ice cream at Miller Brothers department store. That was it. So, in 8384, Mr. Lupton and his wife and some friends were driving across the river to a restaurant over here that was called Town and Country. And as they were driving through town, Mr. Lupton became extremely embarrassed about the condition of downtown Chattanooga. 1985, Mr. Lupton went to the city of Chattanooga and said, listen, downtown's a wreck. There's buildings falling to pieces. There's weeds knee-deep on the sidewalks. I've got an idea. If you sell me some land, pennies on the dollar, I will build the world's first freshwater aquarium, and we can revitalize downtown Chattanooga. And the city of Chattanooga said, no thanks. Why? We can't afford that. You didn't hear what I said. Sell me the land cheap, and I will build it. They sold him an old factory site. And I don't know how much this factory site was, but then Mr. Lupton spent $76 million of his money, and he built the freshwater side of the Tennessee Aquarium, and then the grand opening day, he gave the keys to the city of Chattanooga. It is a non-profit museum. It's not really owned by the city, but I'm not sure how you can classify it. I'm not sure who owns it. It's a non-profit museum. That's all I got. Governed by the city, I guess. It changed everything, because the first thing that happened in Chattanooga because of the aquarium was you were hungry and you didn't want a hot dog. So some restaurants opened up. Mardi Gras wanted something cold to drink besides a Coke. They opened up a couple of bars. Kids got bored. They opened up a movie theater. Someone said, we need duck rides. We need it. Well, that's been here before the aquarium. But everything about downtown has changed since '92 in the Tennessee Aquarium. It literally, and it's not just downtown. It changed the area. Everything's different. When there were factories everywhere, if you worked at a factory and you were tied to work, you were management or you owned the factory and you were rich, you made really good money, you were in management, and you could afford to live in one of 3 places. You could live on Lookout Mountain, you could live in downtown. Can't see this place, but behind us, the oldest golf course in the state of Tennessee, the Chattanooga Golf Country Club. If you were wealthy, that's where you lived. If you worked at a factory and you had shirts that had stains that wouldn't come out, had calluses or grease in your fingernails, you made good money for middle class. You lived over here. This whole side of the river was called Hill City, largest middle class neighborhood in Chattanooga. And in the 70s, when the factories started going out of business, who lost their jobs first, the management or the middle class? These folks had a decision to make. It wasn't that you went next door to the other factory, nobody was hiring. And in the 70s, the nearest places in Chattanooga that had blue-collar industry work was Birmingham, Alabama, and Dayton, Ohio. If you're old enough in Chattanooga, you have family that live in and around Birmingham and Huntsville, and in Dayton, Ohio, and around Cincinnati. It just happens. And this side of the river, it turned from being the largest middle-class neighborhoods to the scariest neighborhoods. 1982, I turned 16 years old. As far back as I can remember on my birthday, my parents would give me and my sister a birthday card with a $20 bill in it. January 17th, I turned 60. My 84-year-old parents gave me a birthday card with a $20 bill in it. And my mom said the same thing she said my entire life. Don't you spend this all in one place. Yes, ma'am. 1982, I turned 16. And I got a $20 bill, and inside the card was a car key. And I took the key out, and I looked at Daddy and said, Daddy, this key goes to the car in the garage. It means you've been working on it. And he smiled and said, happy birthday. If I knew the car I was doing things on was going to be mine, I probably would have done a better job on some things. My very first car I drove in '82 was a candy apple red 1966 Volkswagen Bug that I wish I still had. And when Daddy gave me that car key, it came with a set of rules. School night, be home by 8 o'clock. Friday and Saturday night, be home by midnight. But we're going to get up Sunday and go to church. Yes, do the speed limit. If I ever catch wind that you've been driving through North Chattanooga, I'm taking your car away. North Chattanooga. And to be as gentle as I can, but still convey what it was like in the 80s. It did not matter if you were male or female, old, young, what color skin you had, what language or accent you spoke with. Didn't matter if you were homeless or a millionaire. If you wanted to buy something illegal in Chattanooga, that's where you went. North Chattanooga. It could be really fun or it could be deadly scary. 1992, my wife and I lived 30 minutes away in a little town called Ooltewah, Tennessee. Ooltewah's a Cherokee word, means owl's nest. My wife worked downtown at a nonprofit called River City. I was teaching 8th and 9th grade earth science at an all-girls private school here in Chattanooga called Girls Preparatory School, GPS. If there was an accident on the interstate at rush hour, traffic back and forth from Ooltewah to downtown was a pain in the neck. So in 92, we decided to sell that house and move closer to work, not downtown, just someplace closer that we didn't have to get on the interstate. There's to be a cash-only auction next month. We can go to the courthouse at the auction and you pick up a house pretty cheap. Okay, where'd you say they were? Tremont Street. And I said, okay, where's Tremont Street? And there was a pause, and he said, you don't know where Tremont Street is? I said, no, sir. Barry, Tremont Street is 5 blocks away from GPS. You could ride your bicycle to work. And I went, really? What side of the hill is it on? The golf course side or the North Chattanooga side? North Chattanooga side. No thanks. What? No thanks. What do you mean? I don't want to live in North Chattanooga. Why? It's North Chattanooga. So, I don't want a neighbor that's a crackhead. There's people out night on the street, on the corner selling things? No. Barry, you could ride your bike to work. I'd get shot 5 times a week. I'm not going to live in North Chattanooga. He said, Barry, this is a quote. Barry, the Tennessee Aquarium opened up 3 weeks ago. And one day the aquarium will turn North Chattanooga into a gold mine. This is an opportunity. So me and my wife and David, we went to the Tremont Street to look at those houses. And we went to the auction, and we liked 2 of the houses, and for the auction, we narrowed it down to 1. It was a cash-only auction, and when the real estate agent, after I did what I did, I told him I didn't have the cash, he was mad at me. So, my last bid on a house was $17,300. I didn't have that much money, okay, in cash. My plan, I told the real estate agent, I said, listen, dude, if I win this auction, I'm going to tell the auction guy, give me an hour, I'll be right back, I've got to go get the money. And I was going to drive to my mom and dad's house. Hey, Daddy, I need to borrow some money. And my dad's going to ask me 3 questions. How much? What for?
And where is it?
Where is it? The first 2 questions were not a problem. The where is it was going to be an issue, but we never got that far. This man, he wore his overalls to that auction. And he dug down and bid his overalls. He pulled out a wad of $100 bills. And he won that bid for $19,500. And he bought the house. Fixed it up and flipped it for $500,000. We sold everything and moved to Florida. I was a scuba diving instructor. We moved to Destin, bought a boat. I took people scuba diving and snorkeling. In 2004, Hurricane Ivan destroyed the boat. We came back home to Chattanooga. Now, we did collect a lot less than you think, a little insurance money. We came back home to Chattanooga, and we looked everywhere for a place to live. We went over there, and I went, oh my gosh, this is a gold mine. It changed. Again, people don't, if you ask people that live over there, now where do y'all live? Nobody says Hill City or North Chattanooga. They go, oh, we bought a place on the North Shore. The North Shore. Okay, Laughlin. See the driveway? That's where we're going. Now, when we splashed in the river, the very first thing I said was that I turned all the truck stuff off. The only thing I turned off were the wheels. Put the wheels in neutral to save gas. Through the driveway, Laughlin. These 2 levers down here on the ground, this is the transfer case of the truck. I'm going to push these levers forward just like this. As you put the truck in 4-wheel drive, okay? This lever, this is for the propeller. It's still spinning. When we get out of the water, I'll pull that straight back. Okay? Now, let's go back to June 6, 1944. D-Day. You are Army Rangers sitting on a box of hand grenades. That's Utah Beach, Normandy, France. Soldiers hated this thing. You can't see it. Right there. Soldiers hated these things. This was the slowest boat in the water, slowest truck on the beach. This entire time in the water, we've been going as fast as we can go. Okay. So, has anyone ever served in the military? Raise your hand. Anybody served? What branch, sir? Army. What branch? Army. What branch? Navy. What'd you do in the Navy? Communication. So do these 3 folks have a warped sense of humor? You don't think so? Because Army went, and she kind of, yeah. It's beating to you. For whatever branch of the service you've served in, you have a warped sense of humor. June 644, Army, sitting on a box of hand grenades. What would you call this right now? People are shooting at us. What would you call it?
Sitting duck.
Who said that? Sitting duck. The first time that phrase was documented was being used was World War II. I got that story and this next one out of Tom Brokaw's book called The Greatest Generation, which is like that thick. It's a great book. This is still true today. Belts of ammunition for big machine guns come in lengths of 27 feet. You could link belts together, okay? But each belt was 27 feet long. Some fighter plane would land on the South Pacific Island. Guy run up to the pilot and go, "How'd you do today, son?" I made it back, and I used every bullet I had. Gave him the whole 9 yards. Ever heard that phrase? Give him the whole 9 yards? Yeah. That's World War II. Lengths of ammunition, okay? Okay, Lachlan.
Cool.
It's D-Day. People are shooting at us, and we're going to go as fast as we can go because we don't want to get shot. As soon as you feel the front tires hit, as soldiers, you start jumping out. Me and Lachlan had to take the cargo somewhere, so that we're looking for someone with a signal corps with flags, and I'm looking for our colors that give directions to Lachlan because he's trying to dodge bombs and bullets. Okay, you ready, Lachlan? Here we go, as fast as we can go. Ready to go. Here we go, Lachlan. They're shooting at us, Lachlan. Done. No, go that way, Lachlan. Go that way. Okay, we're dodging. We're zigging and zagging. Okay, well, hey, you want to drive all the way to the top? You do? And you touch the brake pedal. That's kind of important to be able to touch the brake until they're shooting at us. Can you push it really hard? No, I'll do the gas. You do the brake pedal. Okay, Lachlan. See the line in the middle? That's what you have to keep the duck on top of that line. Okay? Are you sure you want to do this? Okay, here we go. Stay in the middle, Lachlan. Turn that way, Lachlan. Lachlan, really hard, really hard. Watch your eyes right here. Okay, Lachlan. Watch your eyes, watch your eyes. Okay, here we go, Lachlan. It's a truck. Now, when I say stop, you have to press the brake pedal as hard as you can, okay? Stay in the middle, stay in the middle. There you go, Lachlan. You're doing awesome, dude. Anti-climatically too good. Okay, we're halfway there, Lachlan. Watch your eyes on the limb. That way, Lachlan. That way a little bit. That's good. There you go. Oh, awesome, dude. Almost. Not yet, not yet. Make sure there's nobody jogging. Okay, there's cars coming along. Get ready. Stop, 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 stop. Ethel! Good job, Tom. Help on down. Awesome job, dude. Awesome job. Okay, if you've ever had to drive an old four-wheel drive truck or an old tractor to get it out of four-wheel drive, you have to take some pressure off the transfer case. So I'm going to pull up a little bit, and then I got to back up. Okay, and on this duck, I need about 5 feet to back up. And then it should.
This right here's the bike trail we came
like
up,
that.
and then
And then you go.
across.
Big bump, big bump. Told you, big bump.
That wasn't as big as something we did on the way
And
here.
there we go. As it starts to rain again. And we're back. Once we get over here under the bridge, stop. Just stay in your seats. I've got to get back there and drop the stairs down. When you get off the duck, if you have any questions, need directions getting around, or just want some restaurant recommendations, stick around and ask. I'll be glad to help you out any way I can. Guys, on behalf of the Chattanooga Ducks, my name is Barry. Thank you so much for spending an hour of your day with me. Hope you have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your visit. Take this one home. Thanks, guys.
So Norman, what did you think?
Great ride. Great.
I loved it. It was wonderful. It's great.
Miss Judy, what did you think?
Huh?
Aunt Regina, what did you think?
Great. I got everybody laughing, didn't I?
Glenda, what did you think?
Very interesting.
Donald, what did you think? Awesome. Miss Annette, what did you think?
I loved it. I want to do it again.
Well, thank you so much for getting this together for us.
Now, what kind of group are y'all?
Senior.
Just friends. Just friends. Just friends. You were getting really cozy with this friend. Hey, why not? Okay. Well, yeah, I agree.
Billy, what did you think?
Driving great. Love it.
Linda, what did you think? Good trip. Miss Susan, what did you think?
I thought it was great.
Had a good time.
I had a really good time. He's quite the talk.
Very good tour guide.
Okay.
What did you think of it?
I loved it. It was wonderful. Such a something different. I loved it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think everyone has opted to walk to somewhere to eat. That is so cool. There's some artwork. There's Puckett's. I believe that's where we've chosen to eat.
Smells good.
It was a nice walk, even though it's misting. It's not a downpour.
I love walking in the misty rain, little sprinkly. That's great.
We get to be kids again.
40 minutes wait here or Buffalo Wild Wings across the street.
Option number 2, Buffalo Wild Wings. So I went with the cheesesteak and the fries. And Lynn's arm.
And ketchup.
Well, Lynn shows what it looks like better. Miss Linda. Hello. Are our bellies full now?
Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy your meal? Yes. Now we gotta walk back to the vehicle. On our way back to the bus.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And if you're ever in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, consider giving the Chattanooga Ducks tour a try.